Well, good morning and afternoon and whatever time of day it is, because I always say the wrong thing. So we're just going to cover all three at one shot. So welcome to Wendy Hill Kennel. I'm Kathy Grandstaff, and we are located in Central Ohio. So we're rolling into a busy time of our fall. Not quite as busy as normal, but busier than sometimes I'd like to be, since I was up to 2:30 last night delivering babies. We're downstairs today with Nikki's kids. These are toy Schnauzers, and I have not brought myself to microchip them yet. Oh, I hate sticking them with that needle. So microchips, I actually brought the chips down with me, the ones we're going to microchip them with, so you could kind of see what they look like, and I can explain to you how we do it. Same way your vet does it, except your vet charges you usually $90 to put a microchip in, which is crazy. So these guys are doing super good. If you're new to us, if you hit the subscribe button, if that's where you're seeing us, I would really appreciate it. And we do do a new video every week. So it happened to be we decided to try and get Monday out of the way today on a couple of these litters. So these guys are a week and 3 days old today. There's 2 boys and 2 girls. There is a waiting list. So if you're seeing these on YouTube, if you go to our website, which is shown below the video, there's our website address, and you can take a look at the waiting list. I'm first on the list, so I can tell you today exactly which one I'm keeping. So if he makes it, we are keeping the little tiny chocolate merle male. I do not want a solid chocolate male for breeding for what I want it for. So that's kind of where we're at on males. I'm looking for another little guy to replace Mickey as he gets older. And a blue merle would have been fantastic, but I'll settle for a chocolate merle this time and cross my fingers maybe for a blue merle next time. These should range. Her normal litters, Mickey's about 5.5 pounds. She's about 8 to 9 pounds, depending on the time of year, of whether she's summertime, she doesn't get quite as heavy as she does in the wintertime. So you're still, I think, going to be under 10 pounds on these guys. If anything, a male usually might get a little bit bigger. He may go 8 to 12, but I do not think there's in a million years he'll even go 12 pounds. Something on my eye. Must be on my glasses. I keep seeing this little black thing go around. Tails and dew claws were done on these guys. They all had back dew claws, except for, I think, one of the girls. But, and I don't think the little guy had dew claws. So they're all doing really good, except the little guy is kind of touchy right now. I'm actually bottle feeding. Mom is kind of supplementing, and because the 3 other ones are way too big for him. I shouldn't say way too big for the litter, but when you have a little guy that doesn't even weigh 5, I think he's 5.2 ounces. We'll check him today. I did not feed him before we came down, so he's due for a bottle. I'm trying only to give him 3 bottles a day. I want him to nurse, so every once in a while we catch him nursing, but these 3 big ones just knock him right off. He stands no chance. But I know on the waiting list that if you are on the waiting list and you know which one you want, they're all 3 that are available different, that's for sure. You're welcome to let me know if you're second pick, but whether I save him or lose him, that is the one I'm going to stay with. So even if I were to lose him, which I'm really hoping we don't, it looks good right now. These little tiny ones are so touchy. He was 5'2" or 5'4" at birth, and he went clear down to 4'6". So that's a real big jump. And wasn't nursing, well, he was trying to, but they were knocking him off. And I tried desperately to let him go about 3 days to see if he could hold his own with the 3, and he couldn't. So that's kind of why we took over being a supplemental mom with a bottle and some formula. And so so far that's working out really good. He takes the bottle really, really well. You are so noisy today. Yes. So the eyes are going to open at about 2 weeks old. These guys are going to be 8 weeks old on 12/20. So here's the deal with Christmas. I hate Christmas puppies. I think Christmas is a lousy time to take a puppy home because there's so much craziness going on, especially if you have children. If you're an older couple with no children or a single couple with no children, that's different. But when kids are involved, you know, the puppy's always so exciting that day. There's a chance it gets stepped on when it's this small. Maybe it goes to the bathroom on the floor and people get angry with it. Somebody feeds it the wrong thing. So they will be old enough to go home before Christmas. If they are not eating 100% the way I want them to eat and they're a little longer being weaned from mom, I'm not going to let them go home for Christmas. I would rather see a puppy go home and be 100% healthy than have somebody just have to have it for a Christmas present. You can always give somebody a cute photo. We can do you a special photo that's not on the internet. You can get them a crate and the toys and all that, which still is exciting for the child, but it also builds up anticipation. That's not how you say it. Anticipation for what's coming when the puppy does come home. So my big concern is the puppy, not Christmas. So I know that probably sounds really stinky, but that's just the way it is. So I honestly suspect these are probably going to go home. This little female is the next smallest, and then these two are both chunkers. I think we'll find out today. But I really think by 9 weeks, which is the 27th, which is like 2 days after Christmas. And I don't care if they stay here till the 1st of January. You know, I'd like to see them gone by January 1st. But, you know, if you've got huge New Year's Eve plans or lots of people coming, that's also not a good time to have a puppy unless you put it in the bedroom in a crate and just leave it in there and don't tell people you've got it. But I know that's hard for people to do. So anyway, that's the deal on these little tiny ones and how I feel about them going home. I'm not one to rush them out. I don't care if they're here a little extra, if that's the best thing for them. Okay, done with my lecture. So at 2 weeks old, we're going to start giving them a bath. Toenails are probably going to get cut the day their eyes open because they have sharp little claws. We like the claws on them when they're little because if they're in a 22 by 29 maybe, that's a ballpark of the size of the whelp box, and they usually stay huddled. We actually have a heat lamp about 3.5 feet above them, which helps to warm the carpet that they're on and warms their dark bodies, which makes it nice. And that way they're not piled, because when you have puppies, you can tell when they're cold, they pile on top of each other. You can tell when they're warm, they don't pile on top of each other. And right now they're very comfortable. They're not scrambling to have some place to keep warm, I guess I should say. So in regards to the microchip, they are not chipped yet. I just can't bring myself to stick them with this needle. The 3 big ones, yeah, I'll probably do them today. But I did go ahead and bring their microchips down. And these microchips, we use Buddy ID, which used to be called, what was the name of it? Microchip ID. And they changed their name. But this was one of the largest registries in the United States. I've still used them. It's an 800 number to call. It's nationwide. I think it's $20. Now, that was before this stupid inflation thing hit about 1.5 years ago. But it's $20. Used to be $20 for a year lifetime subscription. And it absolutely does pay. The biggest thing I can tell you that I don't like, I'm going to send these stickers home with you this time. Whose is this? This is, let me get the tiny one out here because I'm not going to chip him for a while, so I'm going to take his apart. So I usually don't give these things out, but I don't like them, and I'll tell you why. I see too many people do this. So this is actually the microchipper that we use. There is a microchip in this needle. It's inserted, we pull the skin up on the back of their neck, it's inserted under their skin, and it always stays in that area. Sometimes it floats to the right or left, but it's always there. Even if I scan it right now, it's gonna pick it up. Microchip on this one is 2035. So that's going to be the little guys because I've already got his name on it. You're also going to get this tag, and I've never done that before. I don't like this tag. Don't put this on your dog, because if your dog is stolen, your microchip number is the only way you have to get it back. And if you give somebody else your microchip number, and if Vanessa can zoom in, it's located on the bottom of this, and it has the number, 800 number for the microchip company. But don't hang this on your dog, because if your dog is lost or stolen and they have your microchip number, you're going to have a hard time fighting them in court to prove that that's your dog, because they've got the number too, and it's could be a really stinky situation. So don't put your microchip number on your dog. You can also make sure you register it, and if your dog is ever lost or stolen, don't put these goofy signs up all over with your kids' pictures on it and a picture of the dog and all this information. Put a dog lost poster up that says lost puppy and a picture of the dog, and put reward in big letters. Under the word reward, put in big numbers, not amount, but the tall numbers of the amount you want to give someone to bring your dog back. 90% of the time, these dogs are stolen for drug money. And normally the person that steals it is the one that brings it back. The other thing is, every kid in the neighborhood that sees that sign that just says reward, lost dog, a picture, your phone number, and hang it up. Call all the vets in your area, give them the description of your dog, give the vet your microchip number. You can also call your county rescue, the county dog board, and give them your microchip number, or keep checking back every couple days, because they only hold the dog for 3 days and then they give it away or sell it or euthanize it. 90% of the time, after you've done that, someone's going to knock on your door and say, hey, are you the people with the lost dog? Is it really true there's no questions asked? And when somebody asks you that, that's usually the person that took it. But it's worked. It's worked for people that have called me and lost their dog and told me after weeks and weeks. And I said, you know what, change your poster. And they did get the dog back within 2 weeks after they changed the posters. But every kid in the neighborhood wants the money. So it's a great way to get your dog back. All right. So let's see, what else can I tell you? Eyes will be open about 2 weeks old. Nobody shows any signs of opening eyes yet. So I'm going to give you their microchip number, and I will put that microchip number in the 3 big ones today. It will be on the website when I take their pictures. I'll probably take new pictures tomorrow and put those on. Other than that, they'll get their first Neopar shot, which is just a parvo booster. They'll get that at 4 weeks old. Even the little dinky guy, everybody gets it. They'll get their first actual puppy shot at 6 weeks old. And if they're here at 9 weeks, which they probably will be, they'll get their 9-week shot on their 9th week birthday. My mouth's not working right. And if they were still here, they would get their next one at 12 weeks and the last one at 15 weeks. So we do shots every 21 days. You can go 21 to 28, but you don't want to go over 28. So I always advise everybody, when you buy a puppy, book your vet appointment for all 3 of your shots that you need if you're only going home with the first 6-week one under your belt. And that way it's not a big hassle to get back into the vet, and you'll actually get your shots done a month earlier than if you go with the vet schedule of every 28 days. All right, so we're gonna weigh these guys. I'm gonna leave Junior sleep until we're all done. He is like so content. He's just sleeping. It's funny, when he's done, I put him on my chest and we sit there and I watch TV and rock him and pat him till he burps. Bottle-fed puppies have to be burped. If you don't burp them and you lay them down, they throw up just like a baby does. It hasn't been burped right. So even though I use a Doc Brown bottle, it has an air, I don't know, it's kind of like an air filter in it thing. I don't know what you call it. But it keeps them from sucking air. And it works really pretty good. But every once in a while, if he gets too much at one time, he'll kind of swallow air. So he has to get burped every time. He says, don't touch me. says, So, all right. So this is female. This is, I call this one, oh, they've switched places on me. This is dark. This one is much darker than the other one. This one has more dominant spots. This one has spots, but they're kind of a little bit more subdued, but a darker, I don't know what color you call that. It's a chocolate, but it's more of a, I don't know what color. It's not a cream, it's not a butterscotch, but the dark chocolate spots, the merle spots in there. And there's the tail. Oh, where you going, guys? It says, oh, we're leaving. They're moving. They're on the move. That's not going to work. You're not going to like it out there. No, you're not. It's cold table out there. Other than that, dominant markings. Let's see her belly. Oh, she says, I'm tired. She has a stripe down her belly. She has white on both feet on her back. She had back dew claws. There's that little tiny scab where the dew claw came off. Her front dew claws are off. She has a brown nose. Eye color, it's up in the air. Normally, I'd tell you they're going to be hazel or a green color. But if there is a slight chance, she could have blue merle eyes, but we won't know till they're open. I don't think Nikki's ever had blue eyes, so I really don't think you're going to see blue eyes in this. I think they're just going to be hazel because she's a brown. All right, sweetie, I hate to do this. It's cold. 10.9 ounces. You're off. Got you off. Got you off. I know. It's got a big, she has a big dark chocolate merle spot here. This side seems to be a little bit more merled than this side. Yeah, it is. And she's got some dark merling right on the back of her butt. All right, so this is the other female, and I'm going to turn her around here, and I'm going to show you the difference. So this is the one that we just did. This is the female that's the lighter merle, chocolate merle. She's got a little bit more heavy markings on her. Oh, I was going to give you microchip number, wasn't I? All right, let me look. So this is the dark merle females, and her number is 2014. It's actually a 13. I don't know if you can zoom in on those little numbers or not. It's got actually like 13 numbers, but we usually just put the last 4 on the videos and when we tell you what they are. That way it's easier because that's a ton of numbers. All right, so her microchip number again ends in 2014. So that is the dark female. All right, down you go. This is the light female. And this is her. Her microchip number is 2032. And that is the light female's. She's got big white spots on her front feet, where this one does not have any white on the front feet. She has, I think she's got a white spot on her chest. Yep, she's got white down her chest. She's got white on these back feet. Are you shaking? She said, just let me sleep. I'm about to put you on a really cold spot. She's got a brown nose, nice markings on her back. She's got almost stripes down both sides, kind of like striped like a zebra. And this ear is dark brown, inside and out. This one is merle light color on the inside, and she's got a light big patch of merle in that ear. And a little, I guess she's got a white spot on this ear too from the merling. Okay, you ready? Here we go. 9.2 ounces. I think my finger moved it to 3. All right, this is the male that's available. He is a dark chocolate. You are a dark, dark chocolate. No distinguishing anything. A little bit of white on the back toes on this, both back feet. Pretty sure he's got a white strip. Yep, he's got a small white strip. And tails are docked. He has a nice size little schnauzer tail dock. I don't dock them short. I like to leave a little bit of a tail. People that dock them clear off at their body run such a chance of getting into that muscle that controls their anal opening. And you can have problems with that. So this one's got a really dark chocolate nose. And he is really cocoa. That'd be a good name for you, is Cocoa. You're dark like a cocoa. All right. He is 9.6 ounces. Okay. Oh, microchip number. Chocolate male, dark chocolate male. 2018 is his microchip number. And so that's him. All right, so I'm anxious to weigh this little peewee too, because sometimes I weigh him after he eats. He said, oh, I've just got to stretch. No, don't get on top of him. His microchip is 2035. So, I know I hate to put you on this cold thing, little man. Oh, he says I'm stretching. I'm stretching. Here's what he looks like. If you take a look at this, also his cranial size, he is so much tinier than the rest of these guys. I know it. See, we're going to save your little butt, aren't we? He's got a little bit of really dark. You ready to get on this cold thing? I know. He said, just let me go back to sleep, Mom. He'd sleep on my hand all day if I let him. All right. Oh, 6'4". He's really done good. Awesome. Awesome. I'm shocked. I've been just praying to get him to 5'6", where he was when he was born. So now we're over that. So yeah, I haven't fed him since. Well, I was up last night delivering puppies. So we'll have the other litter on the website. Oh, I probably won't put them on for a day or two. But Siri's daughter, tell me her name. I can't remember. Avery. I have a hard time with girls until they're always being handled and in the house with us full time with puppies. And we have 3 sisters, and trying to keep them straight is crazy. So Avery had 4 puppies last night. They're schnoodles, and every one of them is a boy. Every one of them is a boy. I was up till 2:30, and she started delivering puppies about 8. And it was like, oh no, it's going to be a long one. I did lose one. I went to bed at 2:30. I just could not do it anymore. She had a really hard delivery with one puppy that I had nobody up, and I did not want to wake my husband up. So I worked and worked and worked, but I finally got the pup out, and he was fine. And I felt her, and I thought, yeah, maybe there's one more. And I thought, I can't do it. I just can't do it, because usually they're about an hour and a half to 2 hours between puppies. And oh my golly, I went to bed and I thought, please, Lord, just let her do it herself. She did, and it had passed this morning when I got up. So she had a little black female, and sometime after 2:30 when I went to bed, and we lost her. So if I'd have stayed up, we probably would have been fine, because she looked fine, but I physically couldn't do it. I was just out and done. But she's got 4 little boys that are cute, and I swear, they're all identical. They're just identical, and they're all chocolate. They might be chocolate phantoms. I couldn't tell. I didn't want to mess with her this morning. This is her first litter, and she has wrapped herself around them so she keeps them on her belly where they're warm, and she's doing a really, really good job. So we'll have those on later on this week, but they will not go home till after the 1st of the year. So I hope you've enjoyed their video. So I used to do Bible verses at the end. And I was raised in Harrisburg, Ohio. And my grandmother raised me, and she got me when she was 49 years old and I was 6 months old. And she died at 97. And I don't remember this. This is an old church book from Harrisburg United Methodist Church in Harrisburg, Ohio. And at the time this was printed, and I looked, they actually made this they passed them all in the church like this with construction paper. But I found this verse in here because I no longer go to a Methodist church. We actually go to a Baptist church, although most of the churches have dropped what denomination they are, and they're just a church name. So now we go to Jersey Church. And but this had a recipe for life. And it's called One of Life's Recipes. And I thought this was really good, so I thought I would read it to you. Maybe it'll bring a smile to your face. So the recipe for life is 1 cup of good thoughts, 1 cup of kind deeds, 1 cup of consideration for others, 2 cups sacrifice for others, 3 cups forgiveness, 2 cups well-beaten thoughts. Mix thoroughly, and tears of joy, sorrow, and sympathy for others. Fold in 4 cups of prayers and faith to lighten other ingredients and raise the texture to great heights of Christian living. After pouring all of these into your daily life, bake well with heat of human kindness and serve it with a smile. So I hope you enjoyed that. It was kind of sweet to find this because I had never seen this, and I found it in a box that I had never opened that said sweeper parts on it. That was Mom's when I, after she died and they sold all of her stuff, I brought that home because nobody wanted that box. And she used to paint, and I got all of her paints and her artwork and things that she had done. And this was in the sweeper box this week when I found it. So that was fun, looking back at the old recipes. She's been dead for probably going on 18 years. She died at 97. I never saw this book. I did see the books that the church did originally, or after this one, like quite a ways, because all the women of the church did a cookbook every 3 years. So this was probably one of the first ones that gives the history of the church. And if you're a history buff, the other thing I thought was really, really cool in here is Harrisburg United Methodist. The man that started the church bought 200 acres in Harrisburg in 1802, and Harrisburg was built on part of that land. And the first church that was built in 1835 in Harrisburg is the one that is on High Street, where I went, except it had been, of course, redone many times. And it was a 40 by 50 foot church, and it cost the people $1,200 to build their church. So anyway, there's a piece of history and a little bit of the Lord for the day. So have a great week. Are you guys all comfortable? And I hope you've enjoyed their video, and we'll talk to you later.